Good morning. Thanks, Pastor, for this great recognition and remembrance. And thanks for allowing me to share this sacred place from which you speak to our people. We are a people of resilience. And at a time, if you go back in history, our people praised the Lord even in their darkest hour at Congo Square on Sunday afternoon. And people often ask me, how did the people of New Orleans survive? We have a history of surviving. And we learned patience, the patience of the poor. When you're poor, you learn to wait, to see a doctor. When you're poor, you're not actually fully free. That's why our people taught us, get an education, get a skill, and work your way out of poverty. But we learned patience. It's in our DNA. And it's that patience that kept people alive, surviving around the Superdome, on the top of their houses, on the top of the interstate, and at the convention center. It's that patience. It's in our DNA. I wasn't supposed to come to Louisiana. Y'all know that. I commanded 1st Army, and my mission was Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and Tennessee, if Katrina went that way. And on Tuesday afternoon, I arrived in Mississippi without orders. We just took off because I had troops training at Camp Shelby, Mississippi. And arrived at Camp Shelby, and I told the troops, be prepared to go save lives. Clear the streets, pack up, get the trucks ready. Be prepared to go save lives. And I met the governor of Mississippi and the adjutant general of the National Guard of Mississippi. And I rode along the Mississippi coast in a helicopter, and I called my boss in Northcom, Admiral Keating. And I said, Admiral, the Mississippi coast is destroyed. And he said, well, Russ, what are you doing in Mississippi? We don't have orders yet. And I said, boss, we've got a authority given to us in the Department of Defense regulation to go save lives. We don't need you to tell us how to do our business. And I'll clean up what he said. Okay, Russ, I'll clean that up a little bit. And he called the Pentagon. And the Pentagon told the White House that we had a 3-star general in Mississippi. You see, the general that was supposed to come to Louisiana was in San Antonio waiting orders. And after I saw Mississippi and I saw what was going on in Louisiana, it reminded me of when the Lord said, who shall I say? I said, send me! Send me! We will have future storms. And in closing, we must be prepared. We all must say, send me. We had an 80% evacuation. After all the hula, we had an 80% evacuation. It's the 20% that didn't leave. And we picked up the remains in the body bags. The numbers showed, after the data was counted, the majority of the people that died were elderly, disabled, and poor. The people that could walk and could move made their way to the convention center. They made their way to the roof. They made their way to the interstate with the help of neighbors. Most of the lives were saved when I got here Wednesday morning. We just had a survival thing going on, and we had a requirement to evacuate. We didn't have a security problem. We had an evacuation problem. It wasn't a security problem. So I say this to you. We must organize ourselves by street, by tribes, by families, by congregation, to know who among us don't have a ride, because we will have to evacuate again. We don't want a repeat, Pastor. 1,400 dead because they were in their homes alone, elderly and poor, and sometimes all three categories. But they were alone. Get this, the government ain't good enough to do this. It takes neighbors like our ancestors did in the flood of 1927, when 700,000 people in Louisiana were displaced by the flood of 1927. We've got to prepare. We've got to be prepared to evacuate. No one on your street is left. That is the mission to this congregation. How do you organize your street? Have a supper at the end of the corner before the next hurricane comes. Invite everybody out. You know how we used to do that? Organize the street that knew who's going to take Mrs. Smith out. See, Mrs. Smith going to get on that yellow bus. She don't know where she's going. She don't want to leave her house. We picked up too many Mrs. Smith that should have had a ride out of town. So on this 20th remembrance of Katrina, let's remember those who lost their lives during Katrina. And the majority of them were elderly, disabled, and poor. And they were home alone. We don't want to repeat that scene. And I must tell you again, whether it's the local, state, or federal government, they're not good enough to do this. It takes people, neighbors, working with relatives, working with congregation to make sure nobody's left behind. Now, Pastor, I'm willing to come back here for one of these special nights and we can talk about this in more detail, because I realize I'm violating your space here, but I feel like I've been to church already and got my steps in. We live in some challenging times, but we come from a generation of people who had it a lot harder. Let's not let them down on the promise they had to let us be on the team. I often tell people who say, well, what inspires you to be in the Army? I just wanted to be on the team. In the Revolutionary War, our people wanted to be on the team even when they were in bondage. They wanted to be on the team and they fought. In the Civil War, they wanted to be on the team and they fought and weren't recognized, but they fought. They wanted to be on the team, the American team. In World War I, they just wanted to be on the team. And they went to Europe and they were told they can't fight with the American army. They just wanted to be on the team. Read the story of the Harlem Hellfighters. And they had to fight with the French army. They just wanted to be on the team, so when they came back to America, they were seen as a member of the team. And it didn't happen. Because the Congress told 𝗔𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗋, don't let them fight, because if they come back and they fought, they will want social justice. And in World War II, what did they do? We had a dozen regiments of African Americans in World War II wanting to be on the team, so when they came back, they would have the right to vote and the right to go to school and equal treatment. And it's from that Dr. King wrote, we've been going on at that time for 200 years, over 200 years, and he said, the Declaration of Independence was a check. When it came to the African American, it bounced. It never was cashed, the promise of freedom. And through these generations, our people have risen up to this city with leadership to run this city and to prepare this city for the next hurricane, because they are coming. Mother Nature can break anything built by man. It will happen, and it can't happen again. We must be prepared, and that's my message to you. Be prepared. And when it's time to go get that neighbor, let these words ring in you. Who shall I send, Lord? Send me! Send me, Lord!